All right. Well, this is the Argo. Um, the Argo, and this is actually from Johannes Hevelis's star catalog from 1690. You can see the beautiful illustrations of some of these star catalogs in the 1600s. Beautiful art. But when Hevelis did his, he wrote these constellations as God was seeing them. In other words, they're all backwards. So as God was seeing them on the other side of the universe, looking at Earth, so he did everything backwards. A few other astronomers did that too. But there's a lot going on in this picture that Hevelis hid. One of the things that you see, you have a ship running into an oak tree, which is kind of weird. But that oak tree is actually from another one of my favorite astronomers, and that is from Edmund Halley. You guys know Edmund Halley from Halley's Comet. That's pretty much a household name as far as that's concerned. But not a lot of people know about Edmund Halley and his life, and I can't get into that too much tonight because I could talk about a day about it. But he was the Indiana Jones of the 1600s as far as all these scientists with the Royal Society and the Invisible College. Clearly, a Rosicrucian front was the Royal Society with all these scientists. He was a big part of that. But he was very good friends with Hevelis. Hevelis was the master astronomer of the Royal Society in the early days. From like the 1670s and 80s, he was considered the master astronomer. He was from Poland, and he lived along the southern shore of the Baltic Sea. So he was up in Viking territory with Norway and Denmark in that area. So that was Viking stomping grounds in that area. But he placed that oak tree. Is called Robur Caroli, RC, which has probably a meaning of the Rosicrucian involved there. There's no doubt that Halley was probably in that group. But you can see the ship. You've got the green man on the back of the ship there. But the most important aspect of this is the mast. Now, the mast of that ship, he is trying to connect a couple things. The Argo to that star at the top called Alphard. Alphard is the main alpha star in the constellation Hydra, the water snake. It is the longest constellation in the sky, but he's trying to make a connection with the mast connecting Alphard. So that's going to be key. Can you do the next slide, please? Now, he made that connection because the Argo on the right is a southern constellation. It does not rise above the horizon at the island, but he tried to make a northern Argo. He had a hidden ship in Hydra. You can see the bow of the Argo on the right, and then you see a bow of this ship outline in Hydra. There's Alphard right there. But you see another little ship that I call the Northern Argo rising at the same time. Now that is rising, if you were at the money pit, that is rising over Smith's Cove to the east. And you can also see another constellation that was placed, one of Hevelis's 7 constellations he placed in the sky. He did not place the Argo or Hydra. Hydra and Argo are from Ptolemy in the 2nd century. But that little sextant is from Hevelis in 1690. Now, he placed it there in an awful interesting place. Now, if that is a ship that he hid there in Hydra, the sextant would be the sails of that ship, just like the Argo has sails in the constellation. But he placed that to represent the sails of that hidden little ship there in Hydra. And they both rise at the same time. In this picture also, that's important, the green line is the winter solstice rising sun at the island. That's exactly where the sun rises on the winter solstice. Today is, December 21st. So the bow of the Argo rises with the sun on the same path as the sun as the winter solstice. So that's kind of interesting. All right, next slide, please. Here's that distinction. Now I'll fard in Hydra, and you see the sextant as the sails. You can see it at the hull of the ship, and Canopus down in the Argo there. That's one of the top 3 brightest stars in all the sky. So that's at the hull of the Argo. So they both rise together and they parallel each other as they move from east to south to west. They parallel each other. So he wanted to make sure the Argo was represented in the northern sky by that. So he that's what he saw, and he placed those sextants constellation to represent the sails of that ship. Now, as this little secret hidden ship in Hydra sets to the west, remember you're standing on the money pit. I want to show you a little Viking ship there, and you can see how Heblis had a great sense of humor also. You can see how the head of Hydra represents that dragon head on the end of the bow of Viking ships. Like I said, he lived in Viking territory. So, I think that is a clear indication that he represented that ship with the sails and the head of the dragon on the bow of that ship. Now, the green lines are the bottom and the top of the swamp. As it sets right in, it sets right in the middle of that swamp. So, maybe that is a reason why they found some ship in the swamp. So that's a possibility. Yeah, so that's the Northern Argo and its connection to Johannes Heblis, and you'll hear his name again.